Brad Sugars. Welcome to the Business Coach TV show and podcast. I got Dan joining me today, Dan Holstein from Canada. How are you, buddy?
Good, Brad. Good to see you.
You know, I get the best business coaches in the world to come and join me and tell me about what makes business grow. Dan, I hope you're on your game today.
Absolutely.
Buddy, what got you into business coaching? How did you start up?
I was running a technology business. I was struggling a little bit and actually hired an action coach.
So hang on, you were coached first, so you're the guy that bought the shaving company.
Yeah.
Excellent. I like to see it. And what makes you enjoy coaching? What do you enjoy about it?
The thing I enjoy the most, I think, is helping people and making sure that they can get where they want to be, helping them see the path. And
they're all helpers. See, I told you this. They all love helping people.
yeah.
So my listeners love to find out about how you've helped businesses grow. You know, what have you actually implemented? What have they done so they can steal your ideas and use it in their business?
Take them.
Right?
Yep.
Take the ideas. Market research, we call it. So tell me about some of your favorite clients and what did you have to teach them? How did they get their results?
Generally, what I find is that when people get great results, they've made a shift in their thinking. And they're going down a path, they've got momentum around what they're doing, and it may or may not be working for them, or it could be working at a better level, and it's not. It's because they're repeating the same patterns over and over. So part of what we do is find out what's not working, what needs to change, and then we make sure we got a
let's
path.
go back a step. Let's go back a step.
Yeah.
So for me to shift, I got to change my thinking.
Yep.
Okay? Everyone gets that. Let's talk about someone who changed their thinking. What did they change from and to? Who's your favorite client?
Can't pick one. They're all great.
Oh, don't be diplomatic. You're on my show. You got to pick a favorite one. Who's your favorite?
I'm going to say Craig.
Craig. All right. What did Craig have to learn? Firstly, what business is he in? What is his previous results and new results type thing?
So they're in technology services, his business, and they go do field service work. I work with a lot of field service companies. So when we first started, they were struggling on financial level because they didn't have good numbers. They didn't have a handle on what was happening in terms of their profitability. So they're repeating over and over just average sort of profits.
So these guys were managing by how much money was in the bank.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
None of my listeners do that, Dan. I bet you there's a bunch of them. So what did you have to teach him? Obviously, how to understand his numbers.
Just getting into the numbers mindset, like not ignoring it, right? And not that they're ignoring, they weren't really sure what to look at. So they kept busy just doing what they were doing. And some of the business they were doing was not that profitable, so they had to keep doing it.
Yeah, just because you're good at the business of the business, like, you know, field service IT work, just because you're good at that doesn't mean you're good at running the business.
Yeah.
Okay, so what specifically was most important for him to change in his thinking?
The major thing was making a decision to actually focus on the numbers and not just be busy. So to decide to be focused.
So you had to take time out of doing field work and out of doing stupid stuff and actually get into doing numbers work. How many hours a week?
Was he working, you mean?
No, how many hours a week did he have to do numbers work? Did you push him into like 5 hours a week or an hour a week? Or?
Oh, we started small, half an hour just to print a P&L and understand it. And then we grew it from there so they could understand what the numbers meant. We got into job costing so they knew which jobs are most profitable.
So obviously he started making more profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me some numbers.
Top of my head, we grew from around 600 grand range to 1.2 mil in about 2 years.
Excellent. So he doubled profit in 2 years. Fantastic. I like it. Who's another one of your favorites?
Another one's Gordon.
Gordon? What's Gordon's business?
He's a distributor of
what things?
Doors and lock hardware, stuff like that.
You got some really exciting not clients.
There too.
I do IT field service work. I distribute doors and what? Doors and...
hardware and frames and stuff like that.
Hinges?
Of course. You need them on the doors.
All right. So Gordon is probably a really nice guy. But Gordon, your business is boring. Actually, business being boring is not such a bad thing. I think if it's boring, then people are buying it.
I think it should be boring. It should be just very, very boring. So the exciting part is getting the new contract, not the excitement of, oh my God, are we going to make payroll?
Yeah. Getting to make payroll is not exciting. So what was Gordon's biggest thing? What did you have to teach him?
Bit of vision and to accept higher performance from his team.
What does that mean?
Well, he was repeating what he was doing day in, day out. He had a team that was doing okay, but they weren't really high performers. And so we had to build out a bit of vision where the company was going to go. We did what we call team alignment, as you know what that's all about. And some of the members decided that...
So hang on, my listeners don't know what that's about. So what you had to do then is bring the team together and get the vision so that they're in line going for the goal.
Yes. However, some members decided they weren't interested in the goal, as often happens in a conversation like that.
You know, when a company changes its goal or actually finally establishes one, there's a bunch of team members that are going to disappear.
Yep. They're not the A players, right? So
and
they're
was
not
Gordon
along.
okay with that, or did he stress about that?
He was okay. He realized that he needed to make some changes, and the individual self-selected actually based on his leadership. He was driving more accountability, he was keeping everyone focused more, and the people that decided to move on, they weren't really interested in being held to account.
Yeah, I think it was Alan Mullally that put it best. He says, I've never fired anyone, I've just helped make it real for people that decided to leave.
Yeah.
So, So what was Gordon's change in numbers in business? Did he double the business like Craig did, or...
Yeah, pretty much. That went from about 1.2, we're into 3.5 at this point, approximately.
Fantastic.
4 this year, yeah.
So how long have you been working with him?
About 5 years.
Fantastic. Gordon, you're a good guy, boring business, but a good guy. Tell me someone else who's got a fun business. You must have someone that had something exciting.
Mode. Mode's got a fun business.
What's Mode's business?
She's a photographer, videographer, marketer for real estate agents.
Hang on, she's selling real estate by taking photos. Still boring, Mode, still boring. I'm tough. I know I'm tough. Now, what was Mode? What did you do with her business? How much did it grow? How long have you been working with her?
I worked with Mode for about 5 years, and
Okay.
she went from a one-person operation to about 10 staff. And
Great. And obviously making a bunch more money if she can afford 10 staff.
absolutely. And something that I've seen with other businesses, and I chose Mode for this example because I see this a lot. Business owners that work she used to call it the 7 to 11 shift, 7 in the morning to 11 at night. It's a bit of a
Who
euphemism.
does that?
Well, who doesn't when they're starting out, right?
Crazy business owners do that. That's who does it.
Well, at first they do, but then they don't realize that there's a better way. It starts so easily, right? It's like,
Buddy,
okay.
if I could do 7 to 11 when I first started, I would have been amazed. I think I was 5 a.m. till midnight every dang day. So, I did it. I did it as bad as everybody else. We all made the same mistakes. And I think that, when you look back at Craig or you look at Gordon, they had to make a shift, right? And if I'm summarizing what I heard, part of their shift was becoming the boss or the owner more so than the person doing the work.
Yep, absolutely. You're managing the team, leading the team, as opposed to being in there.
How does someone let go then? How does someone let go of being the day-to-day? Like Mode, how does she let go of being the photographer? Obviously, was she the photographer when she started, right? One-person business?
Yep.
So does she do any photography these days?
Nope. None. She's got
How
a team
did you
to do
get
it.
her to let go of the need to be the person doing the thing? Because every business owner, you know this, right? And none of you watching or listening here have ever said this. No one can do it as good as me.
I've never heard that before.
And no one's as good a business coach as Dan Holstein either. You've heard it here first. I mean,
True.
I remember when I first started coaching, I thought no one could be as good a coach as me. Now I got coaches all over the world as good or better than me, and that means I'm successful because I've created better than me. So how did you get Mode to let go, or Gordon or Craig?
Just making sure that they made a decision to put themselves first, not let the business run them. They made a decision to take the business back, own it, act like the owner, and it didn't happen overnight. It took time.
Yeah.
It took some working through some fears and things like that, and that's common for everybody. And over a bit of time, it started putting some systems in place so they could delegate off, train someone else to do it, and they could take each task they didn't want to do.
Hang on, let's get the lesson right there. He's just rushing through this because he knows it so well, right? So hang on. To hand over the tasks, they had to, first of all, make the decision.
Yep.
Okay. Become the owner.
Yep.
Then they had to put systems in place and training in place to hand over the task.
Yeah, and the thing we have to remember about the training is when you write the system the first time, it's generally crap. So you have to go through iterations of it working, not working, getting better and better, having the team execute on it, make all kinds of mistakes, and not say, I'll just do it myself because, you obviously can't handle it.
Superhero complex.
Yeah, you got to let it go, and you got to just let them make the mistakes.
Did any of those three suffer from superhero-itis, always diving in and fixing their staff's mistakes?
Maybe just a tad.
Don't throw them under the bus, but did they? They're going to watch this. Say, all three of you watching this at some point in time. I know you were doing it. I know you were. Every business owner at some point has to give up superhero complex and start saying, okay, I can let my staff make the mistakes, and it won't kill the business.
Yeah. And it's a lot easier to do that when you got a bit of profitability going, so you're not worried about losing a client over a mistake.
What were some of the keys for Mode on recruiting good people? How did she recruit good people?
Use the system of deselection process, right? Our 4-hour system.
So explain to me deselection for everybody listening. I know what it is, but you got to make sure everyone knows.
All right. So the typical hiring process is you put a crappy ad that looks like everybody else's. You get a bunch of people that are at home lazy on the couch applying, and you waste your time with sitting around for interviews all day long. Half the people don't show.
Apply with one button. If I can apply with one button and you get a standard templated letter and a standard templated CV, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Worst hiring stuff there is.
So the first thing on that is having job postings or marketing, right? We got to attract in the exact right person. So we had to make sure we have an avatar or a list of all the attributes, the skills, the abilities, the mindset of the ideal candidate first.
Do you think that your team in the beginning understood that you're recruiting people that already have a job, or do you think they were thinking we're just looking for people that are out of work already?
I don't think they thought about it. Generally, I find businesses aren't really sure where the person's going to come from. But I use that analogy of, you don't want to get someone that's already sitting at home on the couch. We need to have someone that's dissatisfied with where they are. Maybe it's their nasty commute, or the crappy boss, or no room for
people
growth.
Don't leave a business, they leave a boss. We got to remember that statement.
Yeah. So the marketing for it's got to touch on those points of, do you want to work for a place where there's a great team, where you get to learn, where you get to have fun, where you get to grow, where there's advancement, where there's learning?
Which one of those 3 clients is the best at recruiting, and why?
I would probably say Mode has been the best at recruiting. Not that.
And what makes her great at recruiting?
She just has she just won't compromise anymore. When someone comes in and they're not the right fit for whatever reason, they're just gone. She makes a decision quickly and ethically and lets them go with dignity, but she just makes sure she won't tolerate.
Fire fast.
Yeah, she won't tolerate low performance.
There's a reason these things become old sayings, isn't it? It's like, there's a reason this is an old saying. It's because it actually is real and it works, and it's
kind of true
for everyone, for anyone else. Any other great clients you can think of, and what were the lessons they had to learn?
Yeah, where do I start? There's one of my clients, Scott. Actually, he won small business owner at our BEF last year. And,
welcome, Scott, and congratulations again.
Yeah. He's a fantastic guy. He's the kind of guy that will just see a good idea and just make it successful. But he ends up taking on a lot. Mm-hmm. And what he's done this year that has been fantastic for him, he's really made a decision to delegate and put off some of the things that he's wanted, that he's done forever, and get people in place to do it. So he's gotten himself a lot more leverage.
There's a point at which a business owner has to realize, I can't do this with just energy anymore.
Yep.
Okay? I can't do it by just me having the skills and me being good and me doing all that. You can build up to, I've seen businesses build to $1 million or more just with the owner working
brute force. Brute force.
But going to multi-millions, it's not happening.
No. There's only so much effort you can continuously put in, right? And after a while, you get a little bit tired, and the weekends and the evening work start to grind on you, and it impacts your family life and things like that. It's just not worth it. It's too expensive. Yeah,
I was chatting with a buddy today, and it's the difference between, he saw an interview I did with another guy that's like a guru of business. I won't mention any names, but he was saying, in that guy, he keeps saying, you got to hustle, 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 and work hard and do all this. And then there's Brad Sugar saying, I don't work hard. I don't want to work hard. I want to employ a lot of people that work hard, and I want to build a business that works so I don't have to. Do you think, like when you first chat with business owners, do you think they get the point that the business is supposed to work, not you?
Initially, some do, some don't. They're at different levels, right? So some of the smaller business owners, 1 or 2 man shows where they're really into it. They're doing a lot of the do of the business. They sometimes they don't see the path out. They're like, if we talk about growth or growing profitability or having more time, and they're like, that just seems impossible.
Yeah, there's nothing that they could sell. If they went to try and sell a business, they're just selling the job. That's why most businesses never sell.
Well, that's where we've made a real shift with our clients over the last while. It's not just talking about growing your profits, but growing your asset of the business and having real good clarity with the long term. We call it, business finishers. When are you going to be done? What's the time frame? And
what's the date? Set me a date by which you're going to finish your business, and then we can work backwards.
And it tightens up the focus because they have excitement. And
we just got to define that for a second.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people haven't heard the term finish your business.
Yeah.
By finish, what we mean is that you build a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. You can take a 6-month vacation and the business keeps growing. It's finished if it works without you as the owner.
Yeah. And so we do little tests along the way. So we actually call it 3 months away because I don't want to scare my clients too much about having it finished. But so we do little things. Actually, Gordon's a great example here. When he used to go away.
Gordon, you're taking 12 months, all right? Gordon, that's you.
That's him. Okay. He's going to take it. He used to go away to Florida with his family, but the business would be Adam. He'd be working a few hours a day. Now he goes away for 2 weeks and he doesn't touch the business at all. It just runs.
No phone, no emails, no nothing. Just goes.
Unless there's something exciting, then he wants to check it out, what's happening,
Yeah.
But he's not getting the requests anymore because he's put the systems in place. He's working on his leadership. He's got an amazing team doing that work for him while he's away doing what he wants to do.
Fantastic. Well, Dan Holstein, great coaching, great clients, even though some of them are a little bit boring businesses. Still great to have it there. Anyway, this is the Business Coach TV show. Check in again with us next week. Let's see what else we can teach you to help you grow your business.